What's going on, y'all? Pope Brandon Brownson here. Before I start this video, I just wanted to take a second to talk about the last one. I didn't really expect anyone to respond to that video, but I'll be honest, y'all made me cry, but like in a good way. The show would love that you guys had for me in the comment section was so much more than I was expecting, and seeing how many of you have been around for as long as you have was touching in a way I wasn't prepared for, especially those of you who said that you've watched me since y'all were kids. First of all, Jesus Christ, you have no idea how old that makes me feel, but I digress. I don't know, I'm just some guy in his room that likes to make things, so it's very humbling to think I was a part of so many of y'all's childhood. Makes me feel kind of bad for leaving as long as I did, because I didn't realize how many people cared, but, you know, that's not the point of this video. It does sort of lead into it, though. As it turns out, a lot of you might remember, I used to have this other YouTube channel called The Brandon Brownson, which, since a few people have asked, yes, that channel is still up. I'm pretty sure that most of the original videos are still on it. But anyway, this comment got me thinking about this video from my old channel. To sum it up, there's a spot on the lake by my apartments that I used to like to go and clear my head, and I waxed poetically about that for a while. My voice was nasally as can be, but otherwise I remember that video fondly, so I went back and watched it, and holy crap, that was 11 years ago. Anyway, after all this time, I guess I wanted to revisit the idea, and honestly revisit a spot that I haven't been in a very long time. I wanted to think about what was different after 11 years and what was the same.
How you doing, Emmer? Oh, not too bad.
One thing that's definitely different is that all of my neighbors know my name now, and I'm pretty sure that they all like me. I used to keep my head pretty low, keep to myself around here, but then I started holding the door open for the neighbors whenever I was out smoking and I saw them coming in just because that was a nice thing to do. I wound up small talking my way into some pretty good neighborly relationships. I'm always amazed by just how much good can be done by being kind to the people around you, but that's a topic for another video. To bounce back to the original Reflecting Spot video, I started off that video by talking about the fact that I was constantly worried that I'd spent the night before stressing out about things in my public and private life, and fuck bud, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Now, on one hand, my personal relationships are a lot healthier now than they were when I made that video. I've got a stable job now, I've got a couple of like real goals and ambitions now. In a lot of ways, I'm better off than that 20-year-old was. God, I am old. But just like that 20-year-old, I've spent most of this week stressed about things I can't really control, right down to the point where I've been up all night worrying, just like in that video. Turns out this was a really good week to go back and watch that. Speaking of, here's the old spot now. Now, it's easily been half a decade since I've walked out here, and I was pretty taken aback by how different it looked now. You know, everything had grown so beautifully, and that made me really happy, but something about the change filled me with this melancholic feeling that I'm sure there's a fucking German word for. I wasn't ready for that change, but isn't that the universal thing about change? It helped to remind me that even if you don't like something, a change can still be for the better, which to be honest was a rather pointed message to take away from all this. It's getting harder to convince myself that I'm not in some kind of simulation sitcom bullshit. Anyway, in that original video, I thought a little bit about why we all have a place that we like to go and reflect. To paraphrase a bit, though you really should go check that video out if you haven't, I came to the conclusion that the reason we all have a reflecting spot is because there's something about it that just speaks to us, that gets us to slow down and notice all the little things, and I still think that's true, but I think another part of it is the escapism. As a quick side note, the reason I haven't been here in so long is because I've got a new spot around here that I like to go and think. There's this little patch of woods on the other end of the complex. It's nothing special, but it's just far enough away where if you can tune out the road during the busier hours, you can let your imagination wander and picture that you're in way more woods than you're actually in. Come on, let me take you there now. So where was I? Right, escapism. I think there's something inherently about a reflecting spot that lets us escape whatever's bothering us, and being more aware of the little things definitely plays into that. I've thought a lot about escapism lately. You know, to some extent, I think that escapism's a pretty important thing. You can't spend all day inside your head, you know? That's how you lose your mind. But you can also fall too deep into escapism and start to lose touch with reality. Start to lose touch with what's going on right in front of your face. I've fallen on both sides of the fence, pretty recently. Anyway, we're here now. This is the exact spot where I like to go and clear my mind. To be honest, this is the first time I've been out here this year, and it was a pretty mild winter, so I don't have an excuse for that. Now, in this particular visit, I didn't get to spend that long out there, but I felt that little glimpse of clarity come back for a second. The birds were chirping, the bugs were buzzing. I hadn't really noticed that the trees and the plants were all in bloom this year. I started to let myself get so wrapped up in my own bullshit that I stopped paying attention to the little things again, and I let myself forget how nice the sun feels on my skin. How magical a cool breeze can be. I forgot the symphony that even a little forest like this can produce, or how many little critters are running around here. And I gotta be honest, the fact that it was that fucked up 20-year-old version of myself that had to remind me to focus on the little things, that's got me fucked up. I wasn't perfect, but maybe I'm too hard on that version of myself. So anyway, to go ahead and put a little bow on this video, if you don't already have a spot to go and reflect that's away from all the bullshit, go do some poking around. If you've got that place and you haven't been there in a while, go give it a visit again. Either way, take some time to appreciate the little shit. Listen to the birds sing. Watch the wind rustle the trees for a while. Watch the swans and the chipmunks and the bunnies and whatever other wildlife is near you, at least from a respectable distance. If you can't get outside for whatever reason, that's cool. Read your favorite book. Really look at that piece of art that you stuck on the wall that's just sort of faded into the background. Make yourself something good to eat, and then really focus on how good it is. The world can be a really shitty place, but man, if you take the time to look around, it can also be pretty cool. Pope Bryn Brownson, signing out.